Dandavat Pranams, Vishaka here. Hope you're all doing very well. I had a question on celibacy which I wanted to share. I thought it was an interesting question and one that many might find valuable to hear discussed. And the question was about celibacy. What is the importance of practicing celibacy, and why is it required for some and not for others? And we can say that actually celibacy, it's not just for people who are in saffron, who are monks. And really celibacy in a broad sense is something that is helpful for everyone. And this type of mixing that goes on in our society between men and women, it's not really so helpful for spiritual life. And really the conception of our gurus is that if somebody has a need to have that type of support from a member of the opposite sex, then they'll marry, and that their sex life will continue in a controlled kind of way, and it will be really just for the purpose of having children. Otherwise, even amongst householders, amongst married couples, they would also practice celibacy. So that's really the ideal for everyone. However, in practice, not everybody can live up to that. And we know that our Gurudev Srila Govinda Maharaj, he was tolerant about all these things, because the main emphasis is on cultivating the spirit of devotion, above and beyond anything else on the material plane. So Gurudev was encouraging that, because first of all, it's not essential to devotion to strictly follow the regulative principles. And second of all, because as Gurudev pointed out, nothing can kill the devotional spirit. No defect on the material plane can kill the devotional spirit. So that's one point. We don't put so much emphasis on these strictures, because it's a distraction from what this is really all about. And on the other hand, Gurudev didn't put too much emphasis on following these things, because he knew that we couldn't, our devotees couldn't follow it, anyway. It'd be very difficult it's very difficult for people who are coming from a strong conditioning in Western society to take up these type of austere lifestyle or practice. So there's some element of leniency in that regard. And then when it comes to persons like myself, who are wearing the cloth and have taken some particular vows, because they're being put in the position of kind of like a figurehead, or however you want to put it, they're being expected to uphold these things in an exemplary way, and so we have that duty to do that. And there's less leniency about that. On one level, it persons who are, and this is why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced the sannyas ashram into his mission, which previously was not within Mahaprabhu's line. It was something revolutionary, because the Vaishnav, as I said, the devotional mood doesn't require anything external. So the sannyas cloth, living a particular lifestyle, that does not equate devotion, and so it is not, strictly speaking, a Vaishnava practice. However, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced it because there was so much corruption within Mahaprabhu's society of so-called followers, that in the name of devotion is everything, then we can do anything and everything, it doesn't matter. In the name of that, then there was so much corruption and exploitation that took place, and so the general society came to despise these so-called followers of Mahaprabhu saw them as very low-class people, you know, yeah, just low class, degraded people, and so the good persons, pious persons, educated persons, they were repulsed by the conduct of these so-called followers of Mahaprabhu, and so therefore Srila Saraswati Thakur saw the need for there to be some type of standard, to introduce, this type of standard into the mission of Mahaprabhu's followers. And if you give them a uniform, and when someone's wearing that uniform, then everybody knows what they stand for, and they can, and the general public, they will know, oh, I know I can trust this person is practicing to a particular level, and therefore I'm going to pay more attention to them. I'm going to take them more seriously. They're not just hypocrites. Because it's difficult to put faith in someone and what they're standing for if they're not able to practice it themselves. So if you have someone who's living the life of a monk, and dressing like a monk, living the life of a monk, then if somebody sees that dress, then they will equate that with a particular standard or practice, and they'll think, oh, I'm going to listen to this person. I have some respect for them because I know that they're following a particular standard. I can take them seriously, I can honor them, and I can follow them. So it's, in many ways, this dress and particular expectation is there to encourage the general public. And then, so that's like kind of an external sense. And in an internal sense, that ashram, that way of life is there to support people who want to have like some boundary within which they're practicing. I know like for myself, that was one thing that inspired me to adopt this lifestyle. It was Gurudev's grace, it was something descending, but it was what at the time I wasn't thinking of in terms of like a public mission, but I was just thinking in terms of my own personal practice. It was, something to support me. You make a commitment to do something that might be difficult, but because you've made that commitment, because you're accepting a level of expectation from guru, from society, then you're gonna do it. You're gonna buckle down and do it, even though there will be moments when you might find it hard. So for me, it was more something I embraced as something to support my personal practice. So that option is there. Of course, you don't need any dress to validate. You can live that life without the dress, without any formality. One can internally and externally adopt a particular lifestyle without necessarily wearing a particular dress and making a big announcement about it. So yeah, but as I said at the beginning, ideally celibacy isn't only for monks, so to speak, but it's for anybody who's seriously trying to practice spiritual life. It's a helpful thing, and it's something really everybody should be trying to practice as much as possible. Of course, it's difficult. The senses can be very strong, but it's something that is healthy for everybody. Okay, well, I think that's all I have to say on the subject. Jai Shri Gurudev.